Hey, what's up, YouTube? You're in the house with Derrick T, and it's about maybe 10 o'clock at night and about 28 degrees in the garage, and so there's no filming this one from the garage, but I wanted to show you all a little project that I got in the works. I'm sitting in my basement because, like I said, it's just warmer in here than it would be in the garage. All right, anybody who's been watching the content on my channel, you know that I have number one, I have a Goldwing GL 1500, and number two, that I have several light strips helping to light the bike up at night, and just to give it more visibility, because after all, it is a Goldwing, and the premise that loud pipes save lives kind of is null and void when you're riding a Goldwing. I'm not sure if I agree with that premise anyway. It sounds good in theory, but there's no real statistical evidence that shows, hey, if this person had loud pipes, they might have, lived through this particular motorcycle crash. Haven't seen enough statistical evidence to really agree with that or not, but in theory, it sounds good. That being said, my bike is not loud at all, and I'm okay with that, but because it's not loud, I figure I can make it visible. All right, so what I did was I bought two sets of these kinds of lights to go on the bike. One set is geared more toward the front of the bike, and the second set is geared more toward the back of the bike. And if I show you, if you actually go and check this video out right here, and I'll leave a link in the description box to that video. It's a really quick one, a really short one, but it shows that really I'm more about practicality than I am about looking good. And so that being said, when I'm in motion, when I'm riding and I'm actually out on the bike, my lights that are set to the front are set to white, and they're set to red in the back. Now, if we're sitting at a bike night or something like that, and there's bikes going all down the street and everything else, yeah, I'll turn my music up, yeah, I'll turn the lights on, let them flash through colors and everything else. It looks cute, it's good, it's cool, whatever. But I'm more about the practicality of the lights than I am about showing off to anybody. So now that I have the trailer with the bike, and that's actually the point of today's video, because now that I have the trailer of the bike, I'm going to light the trailer up. So this actually came from my good friends at Amazon today. This is the third set now of lights that I'll be adding to the bike and the trailer. All right, particularly the trailer. I went and got those. Actually, at first I was thinking about just not waiting for Amazon. I've kind of learned to not want to wait 1 or 2 days whenever I buy something. I kind of wanted to go to a store, buy some lights, come home and get started. And so I asked my brother, because I know he has some lights that he didn't buy on Amazon, he bought them at Walmart. And so I said, well, let me run out to Walmart and grab some lights. And so I got two sets of these. I'll show you one of them because the other one is open and in pieces, and actually it's back in the bag because these light strips right here, they suck. All right, so if you're looking to buy light strips, don't buy them from Walmart, even though, they're nice and bright. That looks like Darth Vader's lightsaber there, but don't get these ones. They really, really do suck trying to put them together and everything else, and I don't know, maybe I'm just picky, I don't know, but either way, these ones I don't really like. I opened one set of them already, and the only useful thing for me that I got out of them was one little piece, and that's this right here. All right, this is going to serve as a circuit breaker, rocker switch kind of situation, so that it's not constantly drawing power off the battery. I'm going to connect this to the main, I call it the brain, but the main part of the light setup, and then it'll actually run into, I actually got one of these as well. This will actually go attached to the battery as well, and I'll be able to plug this in like so, turn these on, and then I'll be able to remote start the lights from, control them from this fob which if you've seen my bike before, any of the videos that show my bike before, I have 2 of these fobs that control the lights on the bike. I'll find a spot for the 3rd one, and this will be specifically for the trailer. And then at the end of a night, whenever I get home, I just hit that button like so, and it will turn everything off so it's not drawing on the battery setup. All right, that being said, I'm not going to run my idea is that I'm not going to run this light setup to the bike at all. Not my battery, my alternator, not my fuse box, any of that. It's going to be 100% powered by a separate battery that I'm going to also mount in the bike, I mean not in the bike, but in the trailer rather, and I'll show you that in another clip. Okay, so this was the only good thing that came out of that other set of Walmart strips, and the second set of strips that I bought there, I still have the receipt, and those are going back to the store because I just don't need them. All right, so I'll show you this. This is the main part of the lights. It's got an inline fuse there already, and then this wire here, you just start connecting light strips to these and, you know, placing them all around the trailer. I'll show you how I run those wires and everything else on a day when it's more conducive to being out in the garage. I just wanted to get kind of started splicing wires together and everything else, and so this is the main part that will actually connect to the power source. I'm going to run this let's see, I apologize. I'm going to run this to the switch here and connect these and get them looking all nice and everything else. All right, and then this will also go to the battery. All right, I'll make separate connections for that and find a place to mount. The other things, the other parts that are part of this kit, these are the actual strips themselves. Have a few electrical connectors and an extra fuse. It's always good to have. And they're all together, there are 8 strips. Now I don't know if I'll put all 8 of these on here or not. We'll just have to see where things go. But this right here is kind of what I call the spider, and this is what I call the brain. And so all you do is connect the spider to the brain, and then you run all of your strips to these connectors here. All right, so that'll be a little bit of a process, just placing the strips and getting them where they go. And then I also have some extension cords here. That's all these are. There's 4 in each bag. I got 2 bags, and so all these are just extension cords in case I need a little bit more space to work with in getting the strips where I want them to go. All right, YouTube, I'm back, and let me show you what I did here. This is how I know the lighting setup's going to work on the trailer. First of all, this is the battery that's going to be used. I'm not going to run it to the bike. I'm not going to run it in tandem with the bike or anything else like that. There's already a battery running in tandem with my main battery on the bike. It controls and pretty much powers all of my audio components. And so I'm not going to put any extra electrical into the bike. This is purely going to power what's in the trailer. And, you know, I'll charge it and maintain it with a separate device when I'm in my garage and it's not being used. All right, what I did starting off was the first thing I did was I got this. It's kind of upside down right now, but as you can see, my DC outlet here, is that an AC or a DC? It's a cigarette lighter thing, whatever it's called. That's actually being powered by the battery right now. That red indicator light is on. The neat thing about this little unit is that it has 2 USB ports as well. So I suppose if I was ever really in a crunch and needed to charge a device, with a USB or run something USB from the trailer, I can suppose I'd be able to do that. So that's running to the battery. What I also did was I took my power switch, the one that I got from the set of lights that suck, the only useful part that I got in that whole thing from Walmart, and I ran the wires to the brain of my light system here. All right, so if I plug that in, if you notice right now, it's not on. All right, this is in the off position. And I plugged in one of my light strips because I figured if one strip, put it this way, if one strip works, they're all gonna work. So here's my remote, and if I'm pushing any buttons right now, it's not coming on. But if I turn that on, all of a sudden, let there be light. All right, it's and I can cycle through some different colors. I'm gonna, you know me, I'm gonna put it on red. Red is in here, so there it is. Okay, so this will go probably on the underneath and also in the back. Like I said, the idea is to give the trailer more visibility, but all of this is working the way that it should, and that's the main thing that I wanted it to do. So now I know I can go mount this on the trailer and everything's going to work the way that it's supposed to work.
3 days later.
All right, you all. So as I've promised, I told you I was going to be adding some LED light strips to the trailer. They match the bike, and I was just looking to make the trailer a little bit more visible, particularly at night. So I'll take you on a little walk around and show you everything that I did. It was a good process. I actually was able to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'll explain what I mean by that as we go here. But to show you where we're at here, this is one of the light strips here. And again, I did chase the wires. This is just a reflector, that's not a light. Also, this is just a reflector and not a light. So adding to the need to kind of make this thing more visible. The adhesive on this strip is not holding, so I'm gonna drop a dot of super glue underneath right there to get that holding down properly. So I put 2 strips back here, kind of ran the wiring behind the license plate and underneath the trailer. Again, another reflector, and the other light strip. There's 4 underneath the trailer, and so for a total of 8 strips. And this is how I powered it. I told you before that I didn't want any of these LEDs to be powered by the bike. I really like the electrical system on my bike the way it is. Didn't want to add anything additional to it. Also, because I'll be using this trailer to be doing some camping trips and everything else, I knocked out 2 birds with 1 stone. I did a video previously that showed a power box that I built. I kind of redesigned it a little bit. The inverter used to be right here on top, but it's since been moved inside of the box. All right, so I had 2 small 12-volt batteries, and they're from Harbor Freight. I had gotten them for another project, but decided to use them for this instead. And they're running in tandem with each other. They're running parallel to each other. So I have quite a bit of power here. And here's the inverter here on the inside. It's mounted with an adhesive on the inside. I didn't run any screws. I didn't cut any holes. I didn't do any drilling for this project at all. This is a small solar charger. So it's like 8, I think it's like 8 watts or something like that. But it's just something to maintain while I'm out. If needed, it's there. And then what I did was I ran a rocker switch in between the lights and the power source so that they're not constantly draining from the power source. This is the brain of the lights right here. That's what I call it, the brain. The spider is actually underneath. That's where it breaks off into 8 different strips. All of that is mounted underneath the trailer, really tight, really nice. The only thing I'm going to do underneath the trailer is weatherproof it a little bit. I'm going to put some flex tape and some other stuff under there to make sure that the connections are excuse me, that the connections are protected. This wire runs underneath the trailer too, and that's what powers everything. So when I hit that power button, you can see everything comes on. I can also control it with a remote and change colors. And like I said before, for practical purposes, these will be staying red when I'm on the road. Nice thing about the dual purpose setup, what I was talking about, was while this is here and I can choose to carry a smaller shoulder bag style cooler and lay it inside of the trailer if I want to, or, you know, close this up, cover it with the leather cover, and I can actually drop a cooler right here too if I wanted to, a small one anyway, or just, you know, in the saddlebag or something like that. You know, I determined that I didn't need, this was the blue one here. This is the actual cooler that came with the trailer. I just don't need that much cooler for what I do when I'm alone. So I can definitely get away with a smaller one and repurpose this space here so that I'm not digging into or taking up a bunch of space putting electronics in the trailer. I want that to hold as much cargo as possible. So I think it came out really, really well. And if I want to, I can disconnect one wire, this wire right here. I can disconnect that, take the power box off, put the cooler on if I really, really just need to have a big cooler for what I'm doing, you know, a day trip or something like that, where lights aren't really needed at night. So I can go either way. I really like the setup. It wasn't what I don't think it was what I set out to do when I got started. It just kind of came together that way while I was doing it. And that was one of the most enjoyable things about the process, was the plan came together while I was doing it. So sometimes things just don't have to be drawn out on paper in order for you to get a good end result. So, hey, that's what I did to light the trailer up a little bit. And it looks real good when the bike is turned on and everything as well. I guess I can show you better than I can tell you, huh? So here it is with the bike on. I told you before, I have 8 of these strips in the front of the bike and 8 in the back. They're set to white in the front and red in the back. I need to replace an LED bulb right here. But also a new addition here is my cornering lights down there are now LED, and they run all the time. I know for some of you Goldwing owners who have the 1500, you know, they're supposed to only come on when you turn on the turn signal, but that has never been this bike. For as long as I've had it, they run all the time. And so I changed those from halogen to LED, and I think it looks really good. I rode at night about a week ago. We had a really nice day, and I got a chance to do some night riding, and it really lights up the street pretty good in front. So everything is white here in the front, and then the second set of lights, there's 8 strips that light up the back in red as well. And so we'll add the red here as well. So that's the way things came out, I think it looks really good, and I enjoyed the process. So stay tuned, because we'll be doing some riding with the trailer, and I'm just really excited for the new setup.